everyone, good afternoon and happy Friday. I'm Chief Meteorologist Darrell Winninger from the Central Oregon Daily Weather Center. Now we have several changes expected through this weekend, including tons of sunshine, a big warm up, and then a flip in our weather pattern. We're looking at scattered showers, and that's going to continue from Sunday afternoon through Sunday night and into Monday. That's going to be followed by a big drop in temperature. So let's take a deep dive into your most reliable forecast. Here in the next several minutes, I'll explain exactly what our setup is, what the forecast looks like, what that means as far as impacts through this Memorial Day weekend, and what you can expect on the backside of this next system. So right here, right now, across the high desert, we have tons of sunshine, very little cloud cover, and temperatures have already started to warm up. Now here through the next couple of days, we have even more warming before that next chance of rain. And when it comes to satellite and radar, the closest precipitation is over eastern and south central Oregon, scattered showers and some thunderstorms in that part of the state. Now, further out over the Pacific Ocean, our next system is continuing to develop. See that purple line? That's what we call an occluded front. And what that means for us is that we are expecting it to start to fizzle out. And here through the next couple of days, first a warm front pushes through, then a cold front. So let's look at it from a different perspective. This is water vapor imagery and pressure. Pressure, those isobars, constant lines of pressure, are starting to tighten up. This afternoon and evening, winds are going to get breezy, even gusty at times, but we still have some dry air over central Oregon well in advance of this next system. And when we back out and take a closer look at that system, we're noticing a couple of things. First, it's starting to get wrapped. We have a pretty strong low over the Gulf of Alaska with the cold front stretched south into the Pacific Ocean. That warm front is just starting to come into the Pacific Northwest, and this is going to be the cold front that triggers that chance of thunderstorm activity by Sunday during the afternoon and evening hours. So here in the last 24 hours, temperatures have topped out in the 60s and some 70s. Right now, that's pretty much where we're sitting, 60s and some 70s on the map. So not quite as warm as we thought it was going to get, but by tomorrow, we're through the mid to upper 70s and into the lower 80s for many of us. And that actually represents a 4 to 11 degree jump in temperatures. But watch this. Here through tonight, it just gets cool. Temperatures fall out of the 60s through the 50s and into the 40s. Some 30s are expected overnight for lows. And then on Saturday, we start off with tons of sunshine. That warming trend is going to be quick through the day, and that's because of that warm front that's pushing through. It could bring us some clouds during the afternoon hours, but we're through the 70s and even into the lower 80s for many of us on the high desert. So just looking at a forecast model that's going to track what's happening when it comes to where we have warm temperatures, where cool temperatures are. We not only have that warmer air mass right over central Oregon, but if you look closely at those streamlines, those winds, you can see some clockwise rotation right over the Pacific Northwest. That is an extension of a high pressure that's over the Pacific Ocean just south of our next low. Highs are going to be in the 80s with some 70s, winds getting a little breezy at times. By Sunday, we have early sunshine and it's going to get warm. That's going to be followed by PM clouds. Now during the afternoon on the east side of the Cascades through parts of central Oregon, we're expecting scattered showers to start to develop. Where showers develop, we're going to be tracking for thunderstorm activity, and some thunderstorms are indeed expected, but they're not going to be super intense. However, some of them could produce some frequent lightning. So that's what we're tracking on Sunday. By Monday, the weather story just changes. We're looking at a huge drop in temperatures going from lower 80s and some 70s to the 60s with some 70s. And here through the next several days, that cool down is going to be the coolest day out of the next 7, and we start to rebound pretty quickly. But Monday still brings, on Memorial Day, still a chance of some showers. So here is that Memorial Day weekend planner. Through the next 72 hours, we have our sunshine Saturday, some afternoon clouds. By Sunday, we keep that warm air mass, but that warm air mass is also giving us the instability we need in advance of our next cold front to spark up that chance of some thunderstorm activity. By Monday, we still have some showers early. Later in the day, it kind of dries out, but we keep some of that cloud cover, and that's when we get our big drop in temperatures, losing 8 to 12 degrees cooler than it is on Sunday. So that is going to be a pretty big cool down for us, but it's going to be short-lived because we start to rebound back through the 70s and then into the 80s by the time we get to Wednesday. And so yeah, we're falling from 82 to 69 degrees. So yeah, 10 to 15 degree drop in temperatures. But when we go ahead and look at that thunderstorm risk, the best chance of thunderstorms is going to be on Sunday. And this is from the Storm Prediction Center. And they usually outline where the potential for severe weather is. For us, we're not looking at severe weather, but in Central Oregon, especially this time of the year, we're always keeping an eye on where we have thunderstorm activity because we are inching a little closer to fire season, and we've been very dry. Now, some of these thunderstorms are going to be low precipitation thunderstorms, meaning they're not dumping a lot of rain. However, some of them could, and some of them are going to be capable of producing some pretty frequent lightning strikes. Now, our forecast model shows that as we go forward through this evening, we're staying clear. So when we take a look at the bigger picture, right behind the camera, that's where our high pressure is. Our low pressure is over the Gulf of Alaska with a cold front over the Pacific Ocean, and we have that warm front that's just offshore. That warm front pushes through on Saturday. That brings some clouds, but it also brings that jump in temperatures. By Sunday, we're looking at scattered afternoon showers. That freeze frame is at 2 p.m., and some thunderstorms are going to be possible. We keep that chance of rain Sunday night and Monday. On the backside of Monday's cold front, that's when the cold front actually pushes through, we are looking at a huge drop in temperatures. Now, both Sunday and Monday, we're expecting strong winds across the high desert. And then by Tuesday and Wednesday, we're going back to in and out clouds. So let's reset. Let's look at the GFS. This is a long-term forecast model, and we're going to set that clock at Monday at 11 p.m. after the cold front fizzles out over the region. By the time we hit Tuesday, sunshine. Wednesday, sunshine. Some p.m. clouds. By Thursday, Wednesday night going into Thursday, that next system fizzles out over the Pacific Northwest, and that triggers a slight dip in temperatures. Thursday, we're going from 85 Wednesday to 82 on Thursday, but we're not looking at much in the way of precipitation, just a dip in temperatures. And by Friday, we're wrapping up the work week with another round of mid-80s. Just for reference, it's still going to be a little below, well below record highs. Record highs for today are 94 in Bend and 94 in Redmond is alike. And so we're not quite getting near record high temperatures, but it is going to be very warm through next week. So between now and Sunday at 11 p.m., we are looking at some showers, scattered showers and some thunderstorms. Fast forward past that even more. So we're going to look at a different forecast model. And it says future snow, but it is future rain. I forgot to change the banner, and I will do that before the show. But between now and 7 a.m. on Sunday, it's mostly going to be dry. So Sunday afternoon is when we're looking at those showers. So fast forward to 2 p.m., and we start to see a little bit of precipitation on the map. By the time we get to Sunday evening, many of us have gotten wet. Some thunderstorms have pushed through, but we're not done. Sunday night and Monday, we're still looking at some scattered showers as that cold front pushes through the Pacific Northwest. So we are looking at wetter conditions. We are expecting stronger winds. Showers with some thunderstorms are in the forecast, and winds are going to get gusty at times. Right now, those wind gusts are not bad at all. In fact, actual winds are between 2 and 12 miles per hour, mostly coming out of the north. Now, when it comes to the winds today, it's mostly been in a light breeze. Everything to the left of that wide line is observed. Everything to the right is forecast. The next couple of hours, a little breezy at times, not bad. Saturday reflects that. It's actually going to be a gorgeous and warmer Saturday, but by Sunday, winds are getting breezy through the afternoon and evening as those showers and some thunderstorms start to develop. If thunderstorms are around your area, winds are going to be stronger. So for tonight, 40s and some 30s. Saturday, we're looking at 80s and some 70s, mostly sunshine and some afternoon clouds. Here's that 7-day planner. We stay in the 80s Sunday. By Sunday afternoon and evening, we get that chance of showers and some thunderstorms, and it gets breezy for many of us. Sunday night and Monday, showers are still in the forecast with that huge drop in temperatures. By Tuesday, we start to rebound. By Wednesday, we're back into the 80s. Now, we get a dip in temperatures Thursday, but Friday, back up to 86 degrees. So a lot of 80s in the 7-day planner. Here is a quick look at your weekend headlines for this Memorial Day weekend. We are bringing the heat and tons of sunshine Saturday, starting off sunny on Sunday, but then that springtime flip. Sunday afternoon, we get some convection, showers with some thunderstorms possible, and then a big cool down on Memorial Day. And here's one more look at that risk of thunderstorm activity. That's the latest in weather. Join us in just a few minutes on Central Oregon Daily News. It's going to be at 5 and 11 on ABC and at 6, 7, and 11 on CBS. We'll have your latest headlines and news and your most reliable forecasts. See you then.